I'm Glenn Wynn. I'm Glenn Wynn. I'm Glenn Wynn.
It's your boy Glenn coming to you for the win. Yep. And I'm back with another video, you guys. What it is. What's up? And today I'm coming to you guys with another video, but this one's about how I like my car after having it and driving it for 5,000 miles. Let's get into this video. All right, you guys, so as you know, I got this vehicle back in September, ordered it on my birthday in August, got the car shipped to me September 20th, and I've had this car for a few months now. Most of you guys know by now that I am a flight attendant, so the car does sit quite often. However, in my situation, I do drive from Phoenix to LA quite a bit. Probably done that a few times, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, maybe 5, maybe 6, maybe 1, 2, 3. Who knows how many times exactly, because I don't remember, but I do that drive quite often. And so this is almost the time on this drive I will be surpassing 5,000 miles driven in this car. And I got this car with 15 miles on it. So I'm gonna bring you guys along the ride with me, and we're gonna talk about how I like this car, and do I still like the car? Do I regret the car? All of those things that are important to everyone's everyday lives and all their questions. So, all right, you guys, this is where I'm at right now, and I am at 4,961 miles. So let's get this thing on the road, and let's cross that threshold of 5,000 miles. Probably won't be able to see it as I'm driving, but you'll be able to see it once I stop and once I check again. So let's get to it. So the first thing that I want to talk about right now for you guys is how the car drives. Now, mind you, 5,000 miles is not entirely a whole lot of miles, okay? But it is a little bit of wear and tear. Okay, it's not. This thing is still freaking spanking new. It drives like a dream. 5,000 miles later, all the curves and all the straightaways and all the accelerations and all of those things that I've done and played with this car still drives like a dream. It is a magnificent machine. It is very smooth. It is very quiet, and you just fall in love with it once you guys had an opportunity to drive it and enjoy it. I have no issues with this car whatsoever as far as how it drives. Like, it handles curves magnificently. It might look like I'm actually driving right now, but I'm not. It's really on autopilot. And I just love doing videos in the car like this because autopilot allows me to have space, time, and opportunity to just look at you guys in your face and let the car do the driving for me. You know, it's gonna stay in its lanes, it stays around the curves, it slows down, it speeds up, it does everything that I need to prevent any type of accidents. There's been a few occasions where big trucks have like tried to merge into my lane and the car stopped for me. Granted, I was looking at it, I seen it, but the car stopped it before I could even get to it. And you know, and I'm ahead of the game. I'm prepared. I'm always cautious. So those are some things that you just don't get with many other vehicles that this one really does have a great handle on, and the feature is amazing. I will always be appreciative of this autopilot. It just makes road trips so much easier. As you guys know, I've done a lot, as I mentioned earlier, and I don't have the driver's fatigue after those type of trips. Everything that I do, when I come back from the trips, I have full energy on because I'm usually just relaxing and feeling like a passenger when I'm in the car on the autopilot, and the autopilot has only improved since I've gotten the vehicle. Now, at 5,000 miles, how much have I roughly spent on the car? Because I did not do precise calculations, and I'm kind of just ballparking it out of the sky right now. By the way, shout out to the 2 people who used my referral link to get a Tesla. Shout out to you. It is Channa and Dwayne. Channa, I know from high school. Shout out to you. You actually told me you were going to use my link. Dwayne, I don't know who you are, but I really appreciate you. Okay? I really appreciate you using my referral code to get you a Tesla. Shout out to you. Speaking of which, we're all going to get 1,000 free supercharger miles coming soon. So let's look forward to that, you guys. In the middle of that last sentence, I kind of let autopilot going anywhere. I just like doing the videos in the car. So it just got me going off to a freeway in a direction in which I didn't want to go. So I had to fix all that. But let me tell you this, it got me onto that freeway change off ramp rather safely, I'll tell you that much. Didn't have any issues, didn't have any problems on the merge. It did it safely, it just had me going the wrong way. So, you know, remember to slightly pay attention if you don't want to go the wrong way. That's something you still got to do. Anyway, back to the point where I was speaking on the money situation. How much that I've spent? I will honestly say it has been under $150 that I've spent on this vehicle, operating, in use, all that. It's been under $150. And I tell you that because obviously the first $70 of supercharging, that was free when I bought the car. But I used that, and then that was mainly used up on the road trips that I would use back and forth between LA and Phoenix. So that was all good there. It didn't cost too much. Now, the rest, when I'm stationary and I'm working a lot, you'll use your home electricity and you'll plug that in and it will charge overnight, even if you don't have the wall chargers or that new bigger outlet type that gives you the NEMA 1450 or whatever it is. I don't have it, so I really don't know, and I don't plan on getting it, so I'm not looking it up, but I can tell you guys more details about those if I do ever change my mind. I've been getting by successfully with just plugging it into a regular 120 volt outlet, the same that you would use to charge your phone. And or at the airport where I work, they have charger stations there, so I will use those. So when I go away on a trip, if I pull up to the airport with 20% or less, when I come back, it's charged up at the 80% that I would need it to be at, and I'm good for city driving all along. So I've been able to do that for the majority of this time, and like I said, it's been under $150 for me driving, and that's even if I were to include the $70 on the supercharging. Including that, it's still under $150 because I haven't had to use superchargers much. Like I said, plug in at home, plug in at work, all free. And there are places where you can plug in for free. At hotels or things like that, where you can still get charged. It's not going to be a supercharger speed. It's going to charge slower than those, but it's still free charge, and if you sit there for a couple hours, you're still good to go. I found one location over in Santa Monica that has Tesla chargers connected to a hotel. I just plug it in there, and then I go walk the beach for 2 hours, or I throw my bike in the back and I go ride a couple miles on the bike, and I come back and I'm good to go with more miles. So it's a lot that you guys can do here that you guys don't have to spend money on like you would think you would. As far as any maintenance or anything on the vehicle, I still have not had to do anything, and like you guys know previously, there's no engine, there's no transmission, there's no oil changes necessary. The only thing that would have to be fixed, the brake pads or the brake fluid or the washer fluid. Those are the only things that will need to be changed in the near future as far as maintenance is concerned. And I don't have to do any of that stuff right now. It hardly rains out here in LA or in Phoenix, so I haven't really had to use any of my washer fluid. And then regenerative braking does a good amount of the braking for me. So you guys, it is a really low maintenance type vehicle, and it has been nothing but great for me. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I do have a 2020 Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus. This is the vehicle that I got right before they came out with the 2021 refresh. So if you guys get a vehicle from now on going forth, yours will be a little better than mine with a little different adjustments and things. However, some of the designs that they have for the new ones, I would prefer the current one that I have, so I'm okay with that. But this topic that I'm going to talk on right now is about the battery life and how it works. So mine comes with the standard factory set number of 250 miles per charge, I guess you would call it. The battery life on my vehicle lasts me a good 2 to 3 to 4 days, depending on how I'm driving. If I'm driving at all, how far I'm driving, or how fast I'm driving, or if I'm playing around with it. It depends on those factors. Usually if I'm on a trip, it sits there. Obviously it sits there. Majority of the time it sits on the charger, so that's fine. But if it doesn't have a charger, if I leave the Sentry mode on, it does do a battery drainage of about 1% a day. If I leave the Sentry mode on. If I don't, you will barely even see anything change as far as the battery drainage. So if I'm off, like I am today, and just doing random trips to do videos and things like that, then the battery life will drain depending on how far I'm going and how fast I'm going. Usually if I'm in the car and it's an off day and I just want to play around, I usually floor it and I just go test I like the feeling that it does when you do the instant acceleration and it just throws you back in your seat. And mind you, I have the slowest model and I have the one with the least amount of range, and I still get satisfaction out of all of those. I've been in a long range Model 3 and this Zip is way faster than mine and it is awesome. But then getting back into mine, I realized that it's still good and I don't need all the extra twerk that comes with it. So it is really cool and I do still enjoy the car. But so the battery drainage on mine with a factory set fill up of 250 is actually really good in my opinion. If you're just going to be driving around in the city, you have plenty of range with 250 miles per charge and fill up. I have no issues and no problem with this vehicle, with the charging, and it's very inexpensive. As I stated in a previous video, for me to fill up to the about 80% when it's down below 20 or down below 10, it costs me $10 to $15 every single time, which is very cheap compared to me filling up my gas vehicle. It costs me about $60 every 2 weeks that I would have to get gas. So I think it's a good trade-off. The games, you guys already caught me playing the games in previous videos, and yes, I still do play them. Granted, I mainly only play the one game, and it's the beach buggy game. Because, you know, I was a king at Mario Kart on the N64 and on the Wii when they first came out. So I still play those games and I still challenge anyone to the games. I'm not as good as I used to be, but I will still challenge anyone to the games. If you want to play, let's get it in. I need to test out some of the other games. I'm not gonna lie, some of the other games seem a little bit dull and boring to me. I tried one or two, but those they kind of give me old school arcade game vibes, which I can't be mad at Elon for putting on here, because a lot of people who are old enough to drive cars were alive to play those games back when they were hot. So it's a nostalgic appreciation type of feel. Beach buggy is just my jam, so the games still are fun. The car is fun for those of all ages. Every time I have my sons in this car and we're just kind of sitting around somewhere or just waiting for something, they're like, Daddy, unbuckle me, Daddy, let me out. I was like, okay, I got you. Mainly my oldest one is talking, but my younger one obviously doesn't want to be locked in his car seat anymore either. So if we stop somewhere, I'll get them out. They'll climb over my white seats. Yes, my white seats that still look white, as you can see, because it's not that hard to clean, you guys. They'll come up here and stand on the seat and they'll play with the screen and touch all the buttons. And my youngest will stand on here and grab the steering wheel and pretend like he's driving and just play with all of, like, they love being in the front of this car and just touching the screen and playing with the buttons and doing all those things. So I would say this car is fun for all ages, whether you're old enough to drive or not. The games on the screen, the music, the TV that you guys can watch, they have Netflix, Hulu, all those different things, YouTube, the internet. Anyone can have fun using, and I really think that is a great thing to have, especially when you're on road trips and you have to stop for a little bit, get out, stretch your legs, come back, chill, watch a show or two, play a game or two, then get back on the road. It's really just that simple and it's really that fun. They update this car on a regular basis and keep things in tip-top shape. It's a big computer, so they're able to do that, and it makes things so much better in the experience. They've been able to increase range. They've been able to make sure Autopilot is getting better. They've been making sure that all the little bugs that might exist on one thing has been able to been fixed instantly, not even a full week go by before they fix it. And there's never something big. It's just something minor that you could probably go without, but they make sure that they fix it, and I like that they do that, you guys. It is a very good job that Elon has done with his team to ensure that all vehicles are up to par. Right now, I'm probably just gonna wrap up this video after 5,000 miles. Let me make sure I've hit it. Did I hit 5,000 miles yet? I am at 5,012 miles on the dot. So at 5,000 miles, you guys can see. After 5,000 miles with this video, I am still very much so in love with this vehicle. I'm having a great time with it. It is doing everything that desired for me to do, and I have no issues. Share with your friends and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel. Like this video. Share it with all your friends, because you, my travel crew, we're really gonna grow together, and as much as you guys allow it to be. So I have to let you know that you have reached Glenn. Holla back at me again. Peace.
I'm a FLIGHT space ATTENDANT. Yeah, don't you know what that mean? If you marry me, then you fly for free. I'm a FLIGHT space ATTENDANT. Yeah, don't you know what that mean?